Trujillo. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Trujillo.
Trujillo.
Yeah, the two L's in Spanish is pronounced with a Y sound.
Okay.
So it's like Trujillo.
Well, thank you for joining me on this interview. Uh, what I'm doing this for is actually I am just trying to understand creative people better and what drives them, and I really enjoy just meeting um, people and hearing about their story and maybe just helping them get the word out about their passion. So um, thank you for joining.
Of course, thanks for asking me.
Yeah, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you're in Denver. Is that right?
Denver, Colorado. Yep.
Cool. My brother lives there with his family.
Nice.
Probably have snow on the ground now.
We did, then it dried up real quick. This year has kind of been a little sad for that
Oh,
with
well,
the snow. Yeah, it's common that it snows in October and November, and then no snow during December. We never have a white Christmas, and then it starts to pick up slowly again. A little bit in January. We only had one snowfall down here, but I think March and April are the
and
biggest
you get
months.
a wow. Yeah.
You think of spring, but that's snow.
Yeah, you guys get a lot of late snow, a lot of heavy snows. Um, so, um, so as we were chatting a little bit before this, I found you through the Clubhouse app, which I think is just an amazing new social media tool where for us it's been sort of we have been jumping in a lot of these artist rooms, and it's been amazing for me just to hear all these artists talk about their suggestions and their advice, and there's been some gallery owners and collectors in there, and so um, I have been sort of scanning through artists, looking for someone to interview, and I really keyed in on you because, it was just at the tail end of a conversation, and so I didn't even get to hear you speak very much. Uh, but I zeroed in on your art because number one, it's I thought you got great talent. The way you're combining all the images and doing the digital stuff, and then I found out that you started with the fine art stuff, and then the point that you're doing like 100 days of digital postings, or you're posting a digital piece every day, I thought was amazing, and I said he must have a lot of passion for this.
Yeah, it actually, you know what, it kind of came out of nowhere, my heart still lies with painting. I'll always be a painter. And the intent of this challenge was actually to find more compositions for painting.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, and I guess we could wrap it back a little bit. I mean, a lot of my work comes from the likings of abstract expressionists, at least the
Mm.
beginning of it, someone like Jackson Pollock. And it's very intuitive for me, or improvisational in the time of making the art. I just do what I feel like is best in that time. I don't preconceive anything, or I didn't preconceive anything. I didn't plan it out. I just wanted to do what was best. And there was a lot of success in the sense of pure happiness with all of that, but I never really knew what the outcome would be, the result. And as a businessman or a business person, it's kind of hard to sell something and advertise something that you don't really know what it's going to be like. And so the result is always an iffy, it comes and goes.
Hit and
It's like,
miss.
yeah, hit and
Oh,
miss. Maybe one out of every 10 was like ooh, that's a good one. But
yeah.
those other nine were kind of just left up in the open. And
But you save them and maybe go back and work on them some more, or
yeah, a lot of the times I did. When I first started painting, that's initially what I started painting, was just splatter marks, swipes, using different tools to create different mark making. But then it kind of grew into this discomfort I had with those pieces, because I just never felt completely satisfied with that being a result. I didn't People liked it and stuff, and people would buy those, but I was never happy enough just calling that it. And
mm,
so something else would kind of be born out of that, whether it's an animal, a human, a building, a car, or something. I kind
mm.
of just stare at it and digest the painting, and it would be born into that. Kind of that was part of the intuitive and improvisational aspect as well. I just let whatever comes out come out.
So that
um
applies to your physical paintings and the digital paintings,
no,
right?
No,
Okay.
digital is usually like I'm inspired by something that day or maybe the week before or something, and I'll dive with that being the theme. And so like uh, I needed to sketch out something, you know. I needed to preconceive my ideas. I needed better compositions that I know were powerful, were strong. I needed to put colors next to each other, color theory, all these different things I learned in college,
Yeah.
kind of make a better, more concrete piece of work, you know. And that's where the digital pieces were born from. I'm actually doing 365 days of a challenge, not 100, but I started July 22nd, and
Mm.
I'm over 190 days deep. 182 was the halfway mark, and I still am going at it, and it's been very rewarding. I never thought that this would be something that I really just got into just because of digital art, you know. And
Yeah.
now I'm just making duplicates of those digital pieces themselves, not painting them, and people want that as is, you know. And
Yeah.
it's been pretty successful with that.
Yeah. That's amazing. So, yeah, that's what the other point I was going to say is that your compositions really show that you know what you're doing. And it's so different from what I do. I've just basically been putting dots and squares and lines all over a canvas and just kind of letting that free flow. not
That's how
not
it
actually
usually
putting
goes.
in, like, certain figures in certain spaces, but I can tell you really know what you're doing. So I really appreciated looking through that. And
Thank you.
um, so it seems like then the digital pieces benefit from your training, all your training prior, and now what you're learning through digital can sort of go back and help you on the physical pieces, the paintings.
Yeah,
Certainly you're going to learn something after this 365 days. You're going to walk out a much better digital artist, I would guess.
yeah. I it's been exponential with my growth. You know, I am now a student of university or a YouTube university, as a lot of
Mm,
people have been saying. I work on Adobe Photoshop. That's the only app I use.
really?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I pull all my imagery offline. There's a website that I use that actually promotes the a creative person just to use their images. Unsplash.com. Super amazing. It's written right there in the disclaimer saying that we want you to use this. And so I've been
And it's
pulling.
royalty free. Or subscription free.
Subscription free, yeah. They
Wow.
don't ask for anything. You could. I don't even think that you even have to have a login name.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And so they have allowed me to use images that I could just zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, and it's really high quality. Um, and I just mash those together and see what can come out of it. And it's been an adventure for sure.
Can we show some of your art now, either physical or digital screen share?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we could do a I think the screen share might be easiest then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there might be a little bit of a glare. Let me just close a couple tabs and then I could pull up. All right, so I will share my screen right now.
Hopefully this will work.
Is that working now?
Not on my side yet.
Hmm.
I've got your. Oh, here it comes. Here it is.
All right, perfect. So yeah, so I log all my stuff into a portfolio, have them in every days, and from day one to day 80 are logged into this file right here. And then on my other computer, I have the other 12. I haven't posted them yet. But I mean, for instance, this was day one. This was just one of the more simple ideas I had. It was just trying to push out composition works. I had every intent to paint something like this, or
Mm,
at least to be inspired to paint something like this. I go on to Photoshop and I start to rearrange and change the colors and the lighting, the hue, the effects, the saturation, all these different things, gradient colors, and have some fun with it. This was the first day. Didn't have much of a remix to it or much difference to the original piece of art or the original photo I took. And so it started to get really intense. And I'd say some of my more interesting paintings, something like this. This was more recent. And this is a digital piece, and I've allowed myself to grow in the aspect of finding depth and putting things in front of one another, putting shadow marks in here and things like
Mm.
that. And so this one took a little bit more time. Um, and this is even less complicated than some of my other pieces as well. I think that my favorite piece right now is actually day 139, and I've had a lot of response for this
Oh
piece.
yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually part of a show that's coming up. We were talking about crypto a little bit. There's an online gallery that opens up this Friday. It's going to go up on auction with, I think, 72 other artists, 40 or 24 different countries. Really excited to be a part of it. But this
Is
is the
that
one that
is that an art auction arranged by Ronan?
I
Ronan.
don't know who arranged it. I know the um, Annie Phillips. She's the one that kind of coordinated some. I think she was one of the curators or part of the selection committee. I'm not 100% sure,
Okay,
but she threw me an invite. Says you better start putting your work in here, and
that's
I
great.
submitted. Yeah, I submitted a few pieces, and this is just like from that unsplash.com, take 4 or 5 images, put them together, mash them one on top of another, tear certain pieces out, and then use different brushes to kind of just mess with it in a different way. It's been really, really interesting to see what comes out of it.
Yeah, that's great. So you're using like a Apple Pencil?
No, it's and this is like the complicated thing. I use my finger on the little mouse pad on my Mac.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it's not very well controlled,
Huh.
definitely once I get some of my finances in order, that's the investment for me. Getting a nice iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil and things
Nice.
like that.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I
Thank you.
didn't I didn't know that Adobe Photoshop was so powerful. So I was going to ask you about Procreate, which everyone talks about, and I've been dabbling in, but I just don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I need to go back and play around with Photoshop as well.
Yeah, Photoshop is absolutely amazing. I mean, they have helped me create my compositions for paintings, which I could show you a painting too.
Yeah,
Uh, so
I was going through your website and I noticed like the stuff you were doing in 2019 with a lot of the lines, and you're really combining a lot of colorful images with lines and shapes in the
that
paintings.
was yeah, that was right before my that was a little bit before I started getting into digital stuff,
Mm,
and so that was all pretty intuitive and improvisational. Like I didn't really plan a ton of that stuff out, so it's been absolutely insane, kind of seeing those come to fruition. Um, they have definitely had a lot of great response for them. Um, Here, for example, is a collaboration I made with a or a buddy of mine. He did the centerpiece, and I did the two side pieces. Um, this was actually for a show in Longmont, Colorado, Dia de los Muertos. We're paying respects to a couple Hispanics that were unarmed and shot by police officers. This was in the height of BLM
mm.
protests and things like that. But there was so much of a highlight toward specific people that almost other people that have had these same types of injustices happening to them were just almost swept under the rug. So the goal of the gallery was just to bring light back to them, to show a little bit of respect for them.
Yeah.
And so this was created initially digitally, and I put my own touch to it. Obviously, these flowers were photos of flowers and photos of bouquets. And yeah, let me open this up a little bit so you could see. This is all an oil painting.
Wow.
I'll play with acrylic, oil, digital now, and so it's expanded quite a bit. But I mean, the photos don't do any justice in all reality. I think there's a couple close shots that do kind of give it an idea. Um,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
That
and so
that's impasto thick paint there. Yeah.
some really thick paints on it, and
Really wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
So did you put the photo down and then paint on top of the photo to, or
Yeah. So let's see if I have the PSD file. Um,
I guess, I mean, it doesn't really matter that if the photo is actually underneath, you're copying the photo with the thick paint strokes.
yeah, essentially, so part of my process was, I have a video that maybe you might like to see as well,
Mm.
if I know how to play it.
Is that canvas? It's
Yeah, so these are two circle canvases.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, there, time lapse.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, that's really cool. So you are doing this full time as a career. That's right. Is that right?
Yeah, I am. I kind of just took it on about a year ago. Kind of just stopping working for my dad. He owns a painting business, so it was a great transition, as far as being able to use some of my techniques for his job, be paid through it, which was nice,
Yeah.
and just be able to focus entirely on my craft. And I absolutely love it. You know, where I'm at right now is just at a pure happiness and bliss point. But financially, it's a little tough, you know, during
Yeah.
COVID and everything. I think the entertainment industry took a nice hit, but
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it. You know, we're all sitting in the same boat.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. It's great work. Um, so with all your digital pieces, are you now then moving into the crypto art scene, the minting of the NFTs that
So
everybody's talking about?
it's still a little over my head right now.
Oh, oh,
It's something I'm truly, truly interested in. You know,
yeah.
I think that I was shared something on Instagram a little bit ago that really got my interest, not in crypto yet, but in trying to give the artist a better deal out of selling their work, you know,
Mm,
because in the end of a day, when a painting is sold for cash, the artist gets screwed over,
yeah.
you know, because we're trading something that appreciates in value for something that
Yep.
depreciates, you know, and it shouldn't be that way at all, you know, and it hurts, you know, in the end of the day, it really, really hurts, and that's why I try not to undervalue any of my work whatsoever.
Yeah.
um, but it's a really, really tough thing to get around, you know. How are you going to change that system? How are we going to break it? You know, what's going to happen? And in some sort of way, I always wanted to try to give royalties to the original piece to the artist. Always, you know, it's like whether you trade asset for asset, or like a piece of property, or
Yep.
NFT, or um, anything that gains in value over time, with something that gains in value over time, my art, you know,
Yeah.
how is that going to happen? And it was the craziest week of my life, because I had a friend call me, and he's like, dude, you need to get on Clubhouse right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He's like, you got to get on Clubhouse. He's like, it's talking about all this stuff, NFTs, crypto. I'm like, what are you talking about right now? You know, and this is all through text. So it was so confusing to me. And I was just like, all right, dude, I'll get on Clubhouse. He's like, it's invite only. You have to have an iPhone. I ended up getting on it, and some of the first conversations were about crypto and the
Yep.
open sea marketplace, um, and all this stuff, and it was like all kind of like making sense a little bit more and a little bit more. And I mean, the crypto world, like, they try to give royalties to the
Yeah.
artists, you know, like you can
No,
put.
it's not just they try, that it's written in the contract. So first of all, it's a now a real marketplace for digital art,
Oh, it's
uh,
amazing.
where gifs and animations, 3D art, and your type of digital art has a collectible market, and there's a lot of people that are interested in buying it because I assume that they really love the art, but it's almost like the market is also there because it'd be like baseball cards or coins or stamps, where there's a known value now, and if you want to buy one or if you want to sell it in the future, anybody can see the previous prices, and they can see all the portfolio of your art or anyone else's art that's grown over time. They can see the prices. So it's a little bit of speculation. Uh, but when you mint it out there, you have already specified a 10 or 20 or 30% resale royalty forever.
Oh,
So
so okay, so minting is your royalty.
minting is the process of putting it on the blockchain,
Okay.
right? And you have to, first of all, you have to buy a little bit of it, Ethereum with dollars, and you create a wallet. And then from that wallet, that's a secure wallet, and you can then, pay to put your stuff on the blockchain. And you're only paying about, currently it's about $4 or $5 of network time to get it on the blockchain. So
Right.
it's not very expensive to post something, but and then it's there for everyone to see. And then as it's sold over time, or you can either put it out for auction or you can put it out for a set price. And if somebody buys it, then they see that anyone can see the transfer of your art to that other person, and then they have it in their collection, and they can resell it in the future for a higher price. And then you would get a royalty from that resale, and the next resale, and the next resale.
Yeah, it's
It's-
I'm so impressed with this
yeah,
this app or the system rather.
yeah,
It's powerful, and I think that it's really bound to happen. Like
yeah.
everything is through the interweb right now, and that's the way it's happening.
I'm also thinking that, like, for physical paintings in the future, we're all going to need to attach an NFT. If you like, for anything of value, that art that's sold seriously, a painting that's sold seriously, should have a NFT attached to it, which becomes like a certificate of authenticity.
Yeah.
Um, and so for me, I mean, I'm, like I said, I'm just dabbling in digital. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm still going to go out, and I'm going to, because it's an art marketplace, I'm going to sell a physical painting. And what I've done is I've taken an image, a photo of my physical painting, and all I know how to do right now is to blow it up and then I I write quotes in there so that you can't see it typically unless you zoom in. But I'm going to put, like, 100 different quotes by the artist, that the portrait of the artist that I'm selling will be embedded in there. And it's just, I don't know if that'll sell, but I believe that you can sell physical paintings with a digital version as a one for one sort of edition.
Yeah, something I noticed on the OpenSea marketplace was that it was only one piece that I noticed, but they sold the physical piece along with the
Yeah,
digital rights to it, or the rights and the authentication to it as well. And so it said in the disclaimer, every single time this is sold, it comes with the physical piece too. That will be
yeah,
sent to and that's kind of something I understand a little bit more, being of this tangible world, and
yeah,
it was hard for me to kind of understand um, why someone would want the digital piece without hanging it on their wall. Upon some more research, it's a collectible.
yeah.
Like
And
they're
they are
they're
coming out with canvases, basically, LCD screens that will display your collection of digital pieces also. So that'll help the market.
yeah, it's
Right.
pretty fascinating for
Yeah.
sure.
I think it's going to blow up and become even bigger and bigger. So people that get involved in it now, and especially like you've got such a head start from, versus a lot of people like me. You're ready to go. It seems like you could start minting right away if you wanted to. So,
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
and the other thing is, like, so you're going to get, maybe you'll get, say, a half of Ethereum, or about $500 for a piece. I don't know, whatever. Just say you get zero point 0.5 Ethereum, which is about $500.
Yeah.
And then you're starting to build up a bank account of Ethereum. And this Ethereum, they say, right now it's at $1,300 for one Ethereum, but there's people predicting it could be $100,000 for one Ethereum in the next year or two. So who knows? But to see your holding of Ethereum, well, it could tank, but it could also go way up.
Yeah, it's essentially like the stock market.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, speculation.
gamble and it's an investment. And I
Yeah,
think that's why a lot of this stuff is sold. You kind of mentioned a little bit earlier that people buy it because they like it, or because maybe it's just
it's like a
it's
game. It's like stocks, kind of.
100% an investment, and
Yeah,
like that this is going to rise in value and you're going to be able to sell it for more money.
yeah.
And
So these
that's
are super exciting times, and I think you've got it. I mean, You've got. I just really like your art, and I really appreciate that you took the time to talk with me today. And wishing you the best. And I always tell the people that I like interview, like maybe we could check in after a year and see how things are going.
Yeah, I would love that. I think that that would be great, and it would just give me a little bit of insight on myself as well.
All right, Ramon. Best of luck, and keep at it. I'm gonna follow you now.
Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it.
All right. Let me have a good day, good rest of your week, and nice chatting with you.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Motion.